Okay, so today we're going to be doing the Pyraminx, and honestly, there's a lot of different methods I've seen out there. Well, at least a few different ones, and most of them are pretty complicated. Like they'll say, once you get to the last layer, you have to remember a algorithm for like 5 different situations. And I found a method from Lego Boys 3 that you don't have to worry about all that. There's only one possible algorithm that you will need sometimes. Sometimes you don't even need that. But the only problem is, in his video he didn't explain very well one particular step, and I couldn't figure out why mine was never doing the same thing his was doing, and I finally realized that he forgot to go over something. So I'm going to try to fix that confusion here in my video. And so, but the method is his. He claims that he came up with it, and so that's great. And this is a really easy method. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I've already got it scrambled up, and the first thing you want to do is solve the tips. Now the tips are really simple because they're bound to, the pieces around it. So all you have to do is just look at each tip and just turn it to where it matches up with the 3 around it. So, if you had a 2x2 version of this, it would just be a total waste of time, because there's really not a puzzle like that, because it's just, it's bound to these 3 colors. So as you can see, I've already finished the tips. Alright, now the next step is going to be to solve the yellow centers. And on the Pyraminx, the centers are these right here. So you can see this side already has 2 of them solved. So I just need to figure out where the last one is. Now this is not going to be the yellow side because there's no yellow here. So I'm going to need to let's try this right there. So basically you just turn it around until you get the 3 centers like that. Alright, and then you'll just take a look and see if you need to rotate this one at all, and I didn't, it was already done. So you can see I have all my centers now complete. Alright, so once you do that, you're ready for the next step. Okay, so the next step is we want to try to finish the yellow face except for one piece. So you can see here in my situation I've got 3 pieces that are out of place. So what you want to do is find a yellow piece that's in the second layer, like this one here, and I'm going to move it around so that it matches up with its center color, just like that. So now if it's on the left, you want to move the right side up, and then move it over, and then move it down. So now that one's been put down like that. Alright, now here's a blue one, so move it over so it matches up with its center, and do the same thing. Other side up, move it over, move it back down. So there you go. Now in this one that I just did, they were both on the left, but if it was on the right, then you would just move that side up, move it over, and then move it down like that. So it's basically the same thing, just opposite. Alright, so let me go ahead and fix that back. Okay, so now I've actually got all of them solved. So let me take one of them back out. Okay, because what you want to do is solve everything except the last one. You want to leave it unsolved, and you want to have your last yellow piece in the second layer. Okay, so what you want to do is first of all, you want to match up this last yellow piece with its centers. Now these 2 are matched up, but you see you have a green right here. So what I want to do is just move that yellow piece down, and then move the blue over so that it matches up, and then move it back up. In order for this method to work, that's the step that you have to do that Lego Boys 3 did not explain. You have to have all the centers the same color with that last yellow piece. Okay, so now we want to look here and we want to see what this is. So that's the blue and the red. So where would that one go? It would go right here. So in this case, I don't have to turn anything. Like if this had been, let's just say, the red and green, then I would have to turn that slot over like that so that it's able to go up in its proper slot. But since this one needs to go here, I don't need to turn my top layer at all. I'll just leave it like it is, and I'll take that and I will put it up into the slot where it goes. Then just move your yellow so that it matches up, and then move it back down. Now if you do that step correctly, you'll find out that you will have one piece that's solved and then two that are just flipped the wrong way. They're in the right spot, they're just turned backwards. And that's exactly what I have here. Alright, so now let me show you an example of what I was saying earlier if there was a spot that you would need to move it into. Okay, so here's another situation that you might run into. You can see that the last yellow piece is actually in the spot where this piece needs to go. And since we're trying to move this piece into the second level, or the second layer, excuse me, into its correct spot, then this method won't work if I need to move it here where my yellow piece is. So what I have to do is I have to switch this piece with another one of these pieces so that the yellow piece is not in its spot. So what I'm going to do is just move it to the second layer, move another one over, and move it down like that. And then of course you'll just need to fix your centers. Alright, so you can see my last yellow piece is still lined up with the red centers, and now the one in the bottom is the red and green, which goes here, so the yellow piece is not in its spot. So this is perfect. So again, you just want to make sure that when you move this piece up, you move it into its proper spot. So I'm just going to move the red and green piece into the second layer, match up the yellows, and move them back down. So now you finish the yellow face and just fix your centers. And again, you'll see that one of the pieces is solved and two of them are flipped. Now, a lot of times when you get to this last step, all you have to do is just rotate the top layer once, in either direction just to solve it. But in this case, I'm going to need the algorithm. So that'll be the last step. I'll show you that right now. Okay, so once you get this far, you have one step left, and you want to hold the Pyraminx where the two that are flipped are facing you, just like this. And we're going to have just a short, easy to remember algorithm. And here it is. It's going to be left, right prime, left prime, right, up prime, right, up, right prime. And now the Pyraminx is solved. Now that might have sounded kind of like a lot to you, but let me show you again. It's really easy to remember. Okay, so here we go again. We have the two that are flipped are facing us. Alright, so easy way to remember it is left down, right down, left up, right up. Then top layer over, bring that one up, top layer back, bring it back down. So after you do this move a few times, you'll see that it's kind of intuitive. You'll kind of get it. It's really easy to remember. Alright, so I hope this helped. Again, a good method from Lego Boys 3. I'm glad he came up with it, and it's the method that I use because it's by far the easiest. So if you liked it, leave me a like or subscribe, and I'll see you next time.